Okay, so picture this. You've got a bunch of research, some articles, maybe a YouTube link, and with just one click, all of that turns into the super polished conversational audio discussion. It sounds kind of like magic, doesn't it? Well, guess what? That tech is actually here. But today, we're not just stopping at audio. Nope. We're going to take it to the next level and figure out how to turn that amazing AI audio into some really compelling video. So let's just dive right in.
You know, this whole thing really started to take off when a specific AI-generated podcast just went completely viral. The chat between the two AI hosts was so unbelievably natural, so convincing, that it had people all over the internet seriously debating whether AI could actually feel things. I mean, that just shows you how powerful this audio tech has become.
So the tool that sparked all that buzz is Google's Notebook LM. Now, at its heart, it's really an AI research assistant. You feed it your sources, documents, slides, web links, you can give it up to 50 of them, and boom, it becomes an expert on that material. But the real standout feature, the thing that's a total game changer, is called Audio Overview. It instantly creates a shockingly realistic audio discussion between two AI hosts, all based on the stuff you gave it.
And the process itself? It's incredibly simple. You just upload your source material, hit generate, and in just a few minutes, Notebook LM chews through everything and spits out this natural-sounding conversation. It's awesome for anyone who learns better by listening or, just wants to repurpose their written stuff into a whole new format.
But this brings us to a really big question, right? The audio is amazing, no doubt, but for all the content creators out there on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, or even LinkedIn, visuals are everything. You just can't get by with an audio file alone. So, how do you bridge that gap?
And that is the big challenge we're going to tackle today. We're going to break down exactly how you can get over this audio-only hurdle, and we're going to look at two very different ways you can create some really engaging video from your Notebook LM audio.
So, these two paths are pretty different. On one hand, you've got the quick and easy way. This is perfect for, say, social media clips, or when you just need to get something out fast. And on the other hand, you have the advanced AI avatar way. This is for those of you aiming for a super polished, really professional-looking final video. Two paths, two very different levels of effort and results.
All right, first up, let's talk about path number one. This is for anyone who needs to get a video out the door like now and doesn't want to deal with a huge learning curve. We're talking simple, effective, and super efficient.
The workflow here is honestly just wonderfully simple. You start with the audio you downloaded from Notebook LM, then you upload it to a user-friendly video tool. From there, you just add a static background image, could be your logo, a relevant picture, whatever, and then you add one of those cool dynamic waveforms that moves with the sound. And this part is crucial. You generate and add captions, super important for accessibility. Then you just export your video. That's it, simple as that.
And the best part is you don't need any crazy expensive software for this. There are tons of really accessible tools that can do it, and a lot of them even have free versions. Veed.io and Flowgen are basically built for this, but honestly, even general tools like Canva or the free Microsoft Clipchamp can get the job done in just a few clicks.
Okay, now for those of you who really want to push the envelope and create something that looks incredibly professional, let's talk about the advanced path. This is all about creating dynamic, speaking AI avatars to be the hosts of your show.
Now, be warned, this workflow is a lot more involved. After you get the audio, your first step is to split the male and female voices into totally separate tracks with a tool like Audacity. Then if you want, you can customize those voices using something like 11 Labs. Next, you have to generate your visual avatars in an image generator like Midjourney. And then comes the real magic. You use a lip-syncing tool like Hydra or Synthesia to actually animate them. And finally, you have to pull it all together in a proper video editor.
And the complexity, it doesn't stop there. For instance, as one creator discovered, popular tools like Synthesia have their own little technical roadblocks. You can only upload audio in 5-minute chunks. So let's say your podcast is 11 minutes long. That means you have to split both your male and female audio tracks into smaller pieces before you can even start animating. It just adds another whole layer of editing to the process.
So how do you pick which path is right for you? Well, it really just boils down to a trade-off. The quick method takes literally minutes and is often free, which is perfect for social clips. The advanced method, on the other hand, can take hours, and the costs can add up fast. I mean, with multiple software subscriptions, you could easily be paying over $100 a month. It definitely requires more advanced skills, but the result can be a seriously professional YouTube-quality video.
All right, before you dive headfirst into all this, it's super important we do a little reality check. As exciting as this all is, this technology is not a magic wand. There are some real limitations you need to know about, both with the audio you get from Notebook LM and with the video creation tools themselves. Let's be clear, this is not a perfect, flawless process, at least not yet.
So, starting with the source material, Notebook LM has some hard limits. Your podcasts can only be about 30 minutes long max. The audio generation is currently English only, and you're stuck with just one stock male and one stock female voice. And yeah, like a lot of AI tools, it can sometimes hallucinate. That means it might just make stuff up that wasn't in your source documents, which is why having a human review it is still absolutely critical.
And it's not just the audio source. The video generation tools, well, they bring their own set of challenges to the table that you really need to be aware of before you sink a lot of time and money into this.
I think the main thing to remember is that this isn't some fully automated pipeline where you just press a button. The quality of the AI lip syncing can be a bit hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, other times it's, well, a little weird. If you want to export in high resolution, that's often going to cost you a paid subscription. The whole process can be slow and really hog your computer's resources. And at the end of the day, it all needs a human touch for that final edit and quality check.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Let's step away from the how-to and look at the big picture here. What does all of this, these powerful, accessible new workflows, what does it all really mean for the future of content? Because this is where it gets really interesting.
What this is, at its core, is a huge shift towards making content creation more accessible, more democratized. Tools like these are dramatically lowering the barrier to entry. You don't need a fancy studio or a camera crew or expensive mics anymore to get your ideas out there in a professional-looking way. And that means we're going to hear from a much wider, more diverse range of voices.
But here's the most important thing to remember. AI is a tool. It's not a replacement for actual creativity. As content creator Jitenja Chain says, the real sweet spot is finding that balance between AI's efficiency and genuine, authentic human engagement. The AI can do the grunt work, sure, but it's the human insight, that unique perspective and storytelling that's going to connect with an audience.
And that leaves us with one final and I think really important question. In a world where anyone can create a polished video in a few hours or maybe even a few minutes, the game changes. It's not about production value anymore. So, as AI makes the act of creating easier and easier, what's the human element that's going to make our content truly valuable?